everyone, and we are so excited you're here for our first ever after class Engage with Sage. We are so excited that you're here, all of our families watching, all of our students that are hopping on, and they can definitely tell you what this show is all about. So really quick, we'll give you a rundown of our show. I'm your host, Miss Fogel, and we're so happy you're here. Over on the right, you have some comments. You can definitely ask questions, and guess what? All of our middle school teachers are all here. And so is Dr. Marston joining us over in the comments. So if they have questions that they can answer, or you just want to say hi to someone, go ahead and type it in the comment bar. We would love to know you are here. So if you want to type in that first name and what feeder pattern your child goes to, that would be super awesome. Okay, everybody, we are so happy you're here, and I hope you enjoy our episode of Engage with Sage.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. We are so happy that each of you are able to come tonight and hope that you learn quite a bit about high school Sage. And yes, I said high school. It's almost time. Just a few short months away, our 8th graders will be heading off into 9th grade into one of those 4 high schools. And so we have some of our high school teachers here tonight. And then we also have our couple of pathways representatives here tonight. And hopefully they'll be able to give you lots of great information. As Mrs. Fogel mentioned, we do have that chat bar right over to the right, and you're welcome to type in some questions, and we'll all do our best to answer those as our middle school Sage teachers are on. And like I mentioned, several of our high school Sage teachers and Pathways representatives are here. So have a great time tonight. We hope that you will learn lots of information. We are so proud of our illuminators and can't wait for them to head off to high school soon, although we'll miss them.
Thank you, Dr. Marston. All right. So again, we already have some people over here popping in to say hello. Hello, how are you? We're so happy you're here, and we cannot believe our Sage students are going to high school soon. But I know you did not join the show because you wanted to hear me talk, right? You came to listen to our high school teachers, and we're going to start off with them. They're going to introduce themselves, and then we are going to have some really good conversation about just an overview of high school Sage. So if you are on your phone and you know a parent that's not watching, you better be texting them, say, you better get on this show. Right now, we're up to 30 live views, and we know that a lot of lives are busy, so if you cannot watch it live, you can always go back and watch it again. Okay, so here we go. First up, hi, Mr. Myers, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing good. Hi, Miss Tony. Okay, so we have 2 of our 4 Sage teachers here with us, but we're going to kind of do an overall, right? So you guys are kind of representing all 4 high schools, so we're so happy you're here. Mr. Myers, why don't you start introducing and telling everybody a little bit about yourself?
Sure, yeah. My name is Mr. Myers, and I am, our title is Gifted Resource Specialist, also known as an advisor or a counselor. As you've heard, gifted differs in high school from middle school. Rather than having a gifted class, you have me or Mrs. Tony or Mrs. Marcantonio or Mrs. Dameron. But we are each in your corner, and we want you to do really well. So in your corner is a boxing metaphor, but you're probably wondering what high school is really like. It's not as tough as a boxing match, but next year might be kind of a bumpy transition. Might not. It just depends. But if you ever need anything or need anyone's help, we're here for you. So a couple of things that we can do is we can kind of assist you as you get your schedule ready for the next year. We can assist you if you're having any kind of social complications or conflict. We are, people that you can come and talk to. We really care. And I think that's really what I want to stress about our role. We do help you in a number of academic ways as well. For example, right now we're getting ready to nominate students from our high schools to Missouri Scholars Academy, and that's one of the highest honors there is. We also help students get into Boys State and Girls State. We help students with test prep plans, college prep plans. We're always sending out emails about scholarship opportunities, and we'll kind of guide you through the long and potentially tedious process of applying for colleges. I mean, it's not as easy as I just made it sound. I mean, sorry, difficult as I just made it sound. But there are a lot of moving parts, and we're here to help you with that.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much. And Miss Tony, how are you doing?
I'm good. Excited to be here.
Awesome. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and then do you mind maybe talking about enrollment procedures?
Oh, sure.
Cool.
So I'm Mrs. Tony. I'm the Gifted Resource Specialist for Staley High School. I am a Staley original. I helped open Staley in 2008, so I kind of know the ins and outs, and it was kind of cool to help build the SAGE program there at Staley, as well as our honors diploma programs as well. So when it comes to enrollment, as incoming freshmen, you guys are going to hear from the Pathways, the college and career facilitators in just a little bit. And I got to be at Newmark today and talk to all the L through Z students and talk to them about our honors diplomas, as well as, hear about what they thought about the pathway. So that was really exciting. So I know in the next couple of weeks, the school counselors at all 4 high schools are going to be coming and talking to you about all the different course choices that you can make. So we're not going to go into that very specifically tonight, because the college and career facilitators are going to talk more about pathways. But what we, as the Gifted Resource Specialist, what we kind of encourage our incoming 9th graders to do is to think about maybe taking some summer school courses prior to even entering high school. And the 2 courses that we really highly recommend would either be health and or PE. Those are 2 great courses to kind of get out of the way. They're requirements for graduation, but they're not necessarily always the fun classes. You kind of want to save room in your schedule to take the fun stuff. So we always say maybe knock out health and PE. Summer school last summer was set up in 2 semesters. I'm really hoping they're going to do it again this year. So there was a semester in June, so you could take 2 courses in June, and there was a semester in July, and you could take 2 courses in July. And that's quite a bit. We don't recommend you take 4 classes during the summer, because we want you to have fun and be a kid during the summer too. So, but taking like health and PE, like whichever month is less busy for you, you could easily knock out health or PE during that time period.
Wow, very cool. Great information. Thank you so much. And Mr. Adamson brought up a great point in the chat bar. Feel free to go ahead and you can write in some questions there. We are actually going to take this show and really treat it like an Engage with Sage that we do every Wednesday at 11 o'clock for our virtual students. And so we are going to put our teachers on the hot seat. Yes, I said that, the hot seat. And those are you. You guys are going to create those questions. Just like we tell our students, we provide this show. We have so much fun with this show because you guys are able to comment in the bar. So make sure you be thinking of those questions so we can have some fun and put our teachers on the hot seat. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. I know another big question that comes up a lot are all of the diploma options that are out there. Can you guys talk a little bit briefly about those?
Yeah, I'll start off, and then I'm going to pass it over to Mr. Myers. So there's 4 diploma options. Let's see if I can get the 4 in my camera here. There's 4 diploma options available at all 4 high schools in the North Kansas City School District. So the very first one is the College and Career Readiness, and this is the standard high school diploma. So everyone who walks across the stage on graduation day, they're all getting the College and Career Readiness diploma. However, one cool thing that North Kansas City thought of about 23 years ago is they wanted to come up with a way to engage our high achieving students to challenge themselves. And so they created the Gold Medallion Honors Diploma Program and IB. And it's a great way for our SAGE students and other high achieving students to kind of get more out of high school. So at all 4 high schools, so all 4 high schools have the College and Career Readiness. All 4 high schools have Gold Medallion Honors Diploma. All 4 high schools have the AP Capstone Honors Diploma, and North Kansas City High School is the only high school in the district that has the International Baccalaureate program. So Gold Medallion and AP Capstone, I can tell you from my experience at Staley, and I think it's pretty comparable at Oak Park and at Winnetonka, you can do both of those at the same time. So the Gold Medallion Honors Diploma is the diploma that North Kansas City came up with about 20 years ago. It requires a 3.2 GPA, 100 hours of community service, a 40-hour job shadow internship experience. And it also requires students to take the course AP Seminar. So I teach AP Seminar, Mr. Myers teaches AP Seminar, Mrs. Marcantonio teaches AP Seminar, and Dr. Dameron teaches AP Seminar. So it's kind of like the SAGE class for high school kids. It's kind of cool. So you get your gifted resource specialist actually in class, and that's that AP Seminar course. Awesome. But what that does is that gives you honors at graduation. You get a gold medallion, you get a stole, you get all that good stuff. Then AP Capstone is kind of a continuation of that. So most of my kids are doing gold medallion, but then they're also doing AP Capstone, and that's another AP class called AP Research. So and that one's sponsored by the College Board, and it's a nationally recognized program. So that one does not have a GPA requirement to it, but it does require you to take 4 other AP courses, which honestly, my SAGE kids are doing anyway. So then Mr. Myers is going to talk about IB a little bit.
Sure. Thanks. Yeah. So IB is a pretty exciting diploma. It breaks down into 2 different diplomas. There's the IBDP, and DP stands for Diploma Program. And then there's the IBCP, which stands for Career Program. Same number of credit hours as Gold Medallion or AP Capstone, 26. There are some kind of interesting things that you could do in IB that I can't speak to thoroughly tonight. There's just too much involved, especially IBCP. But IBCP has a number of career-related study options. So the idea is to get you kind of taking courses within your whatever professional domain you want to go into. We have 5 of them: biomedical science, computer science, culinary arts, engineering, and teaching. So if you're interested in any of those things, IBCP would be an interesting option for you. IBDP is more academic, so you're going to learn a lot of academic skills related to math and science and social studies. A lot of research-based work in IB. Dr. Jane Reed is head of the IBDP program, and then Dr. Lauer is head of the IBCP program. And I'd be happy to relay any questions you have about those programs to them. That's really in their wheelhouse. I know about these 2 diploma programs because quite a few SAGE students at Northtown are in them, but I can't speak with granular detail to these programs like they can. So that's Dr. Reed and Dr. Lauer.
Thank you guys so much. And again, if you are just now joining us, we only have 2 of our 4 SAGE teachers joining us, but we are all one big gifted family. And so like Miss Tony was talking about the diploma options, that covers all the 4 schools, correct? But Mr. Myers, IB is only at Northtown. Am I right on that? Okay, awesome. So we had a question over here, and looks like Miss Owsley kind of answered it as well. But if you have anything else to add on, but what other classes are available for summer in case he decides to do more? Do you have anything else besides what Miss Owsley added on there?
Oh, absolutely. So there's a whole entire list. If you just put in launch and North Kansas City, it should bring up a flyer, or if you search on the main North Kansas City webpage. My only caution to you is please contact your gifted resource specialist and work with them to do a 4-year plan. Because we don't want the student to take way too many classes during the summer and then not have anything to take once they get into the building. Or because sometimes some classes during the regular school year are only offered during certain blocks and things like that. And so then if they've already taken everything, then they're kind of out of luck. So, but there are some interesting courses. They have Japanese on launch.
Yeah.
Who knew? I mean, that's definitely not offered at any of our buildings. So that might be a really cool opportunity. I've had several Sage kids be kind of excited about that. And also we don't want to overwhelm our freshmen. I've had a couple of freshmen and high flying, highly, capable, but try and just take on too much during the summer prior to even starting high school. So we still want to encourage them to look at maybe even other opportunities, things that kind of fill out their, high school resume. So volunteering. One thing I also highly encourage freshmen to do is to start their community service June 1st, right before their freshman year. That's a great time to get hours done. I know in COVID, little hard to do. I'm also the National Honor Society sponsor, so my kids are really struggling getting service hours for NHS. But there's lots of different individual things kids can do. They can mow lawns for free. I've had students make masks. I had kids shoveling snow. I've had kids providing free babysitting, not for a family member, or siblings, but for free babysitting. I think programs are going to slowly, and organizations are going to slowly start letting kids come back. We're really hoping that might look a little bit different this summer than it did last summer. I believe and hoping that we'll have summer school at all the elementary schools this summer, and hopefully they'll let A+ tutors come in. That's another great way to get lots of hours done for our students, is to go in and do some A+ tutoring. So explore. There's also camps. Hopefully, I know again with COVID, that might be something that might be a little bit of an issue, but definitely explore all options, and please contact your gifted resource specialist if you want them to take more than just health and PE.
Awesome. And here's another question that kind of goes along with that. Do Scout community service hours count for graduation hours?
Absolutely. So I have a 16-year-old that's working on his Eagle Scout project almost as we speak. So we're really excited. We're helping him get through that process. It is a rigorous process. I do know, just as a Scout parent, that the way they let them log their hours, you log everyone's hours for the project. So all we count is the hours that you personally do as the Scout. So you count like if your parent came in, helped you dig the trees or build the pergola or whatever it is, build the bench, whatever. Or, I know you get younger Scouts that need service hours that come in, and you can kind of double dip on those hours. We can't count hours that other people did, but we can definitely count the hours that you personally do as the Scout.
Awesome. Great questions out there. So keep those coming. And I'm really excited to welcome our next guest. Two of them. Here they are. Hello. How are you guys? You've been backstage waiting patiently. So thank you so much. So we'll go ahead, Miss Martin, and start with you. Introduce yourself, what school you're at, kind of what your role is, and maybe just a little bit about yourself.
Awesome. Well, I am Miss Martin. I am the College and Career Facilitator at Winnetonka. I'm super excited to step into this role. So I've been actually at Winnetonka the past 3 years in the math department, and am very excited that I had this opportunity to step up, still get to work with students. So we work with some seniors on really getting to help them learn what they want to do after high school. And then we've been planning this great pathways model that's coming.
Very cool. All right. Last but not least.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Megan Halpin, and I am the College and Career Facilitator at Staley. I actually live next door to Miss Tony at Staley High School, so I've gotten to know some Sage kids of hers, which has been really fun. This is my first year at Staley. Prior to Staley, I was at Oak Park for 5 years and was a teacher and coach there. So I'm very excited to be here to share some pathway information. We actually got to visit Newmark this week. So it was really nice to see some of your students there.
Very cool. And you guys are here. Again, there's only 2 of you out of 4. But again, you all 4 kind of work together just like our gifted coordinators do. So if you are out there like, wait, where's my school? They all kind of do the same thing, even though it kind of looks a little bit different. But if you guys want to kind of just explain what it is and maybe what they as parents and maybe what those 8th graders need to be thinking about here in the next couple months.
Absolutely. So over the past 2 years, the district has really been working on boldly redefining what the high school experience is going to look like. So to start that, they worked with parents and teachers, some community members, administrators, college representatives, to come up with what we call our portrait of a graduate. And these are 7 competencies that are skills that we know that if our students leave the district with these, they're going to be successful. Things like learner's mindset, communication, those types of skills that are going to be beneficial to everyone. So to help really see those competencies come out, we've developed our pathways. And so pathways are a way that students are going to be able to explore not only careers, but their college, everything intertwined as they go through it. So they're going to kind of find where their interests are, whether it's they know that they want to be a doctor, so then they can go take some classes that are a little bit more geared towards medical, or if they just know they really want to help people, but they're not exactly sure what careers they are, then human services might be a great place that you can learn about the careers, learn about the skills that you're going to need to be able to do that.
Awesome. Anything to add to that?
Yeah, so I can talk a little bit about kind of the tangible piece, which is the schedule. So all students will be taking the same 4 core classes that they would normally take, and that includes honors and AP courses. And then they will also take a 5th course, which is a technical core class. And a technical core course really is just an industry-focused class. So it's something that students have identified as an interest that's going to really help connect them to their interest areas and also industry professionals. That's where they're going to get some really cool opportunities to network with industry professionals, to go on work-based visits, to do client-based projects and classes. Those are going to be where they really see a lot of those experiences happening. And then we also kind of talk about the elective piece, right? A lot of students are interested in a multitude of electives, and a lot of students are worried that pathways are going to be limiting. But it's actually just the opposite of that. Pathways are not limiting. They're meant to be eye-opening and really to provide students experiences that they're really interested in and connect them with those real-world experiences. So all electives are open for all students, regardless of what pathway that they're a part of. And so that's something that we've really kind of stressed, I think, over the last week, is that your schedule is still wide open for you. So if you're somebody who's super passionate about choir or theater or orchestra or any of those things, those electives are completely open for all kids. And a lot of kids have been interested in multiple pathways, which is really cool too. So you can take, you still need to pick one pathway, but you can take those elective courses in other pathways as well.
Very cool. Well, thank you guys so much. And everybody, we're kind of going towards the end of our show, but really quick, let's introduce Dr. Dameron. Hi, Dr. Dameron.
Hi. Hello.
Perfect timing. We're so happy you're here.
I apologize. I want to just say hi to all the parents and hi to all my colleagues. Big mess up. I don't know what I see. I had trouble yesterday, and of course, I had a lot of trouble tonight. So I wanted you to know I was alive, and I'm still here. And
Good. No, you came at a good time. Do you want to talk a little bit? I mean, they started talking a little bit about elective options within the pathways. Do you want to talk about elective options kind of within the gifted realm? Do you have anything else to add to that?
Sure, of course. Well, the cool thing about high school that I think you as parents will be so happy about is that it is a time for exploration, and not just, and including the pathways now, which is even more wonderful things. But for the first time, if you have an interest in art or theater, or just think, I've never really, I think I want to do computers is part of the pathways, but we just have so many cool electives. You want to do woodworking, you want to try this or that out. It is your opportunity. And I just had a parent on my meeting last night that said, he doesn't really like what he was trying out his freshman year. And that was going to be something he was going to do. He thought his whole life he was really an art student, and he found out he does enjoy it, but it's not something he wants to pursue. And we were kind of thinking of new options, and there were so many. So I think you're going to be very pleased as parents to see that that is what it's all about in high school, is exploring new things. And also for gifted kids, especially, what I think the message is they have lots of passions and lots of interests, and they're good at everything. So it's probably why I've been hearing from a lot of people, they're having a hard time picking their pathway because they love many things. It's the same thing with electives. It's going to be the same thing, in college. They know they're good at a lot of things, and so they just want to do all of them, or they will not even know what to do because they don't know how to pick. And that's just a really gifted trait, and that's what we're here for, is to help. But I also see it as an opportunity. I've never tried theater before. I'm going to put myself out there and do a theater class. And then I meet this pack of friends that become my favorites all through high school. And I'm not going to major in theater, but man, I found a group of solid friends. Or, our orchestra kids, they just find a family there. So that's the beauty of high school. The electives are just ginormous. So.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much. And what's great here at the Sage Center for all of those that are watching is that they have had the opportunity to try out different things. Our classes and units of study are all based on career readiness topics. So talk to your child and say, what at Sage have you enjoyed? Was it photography? Was it graphic design? Was it biomedical engineer? So it's pretty neat that they've had that opportunity. And if you have younger ones, younger siblings, or if you are a parent that is a 6th and 7th grader, think about it. Think about the different computer science classes we have and let them explore here at the Sage Center because we have that possibility. All right, everyone. And Dr. Dameron, you are in time for my favorite part of the show.
Oh, no.
It's the hot seat. I'm excited. So here's how the hot seat works. We take live questions over here in the comment bar, but it only works if you guys ask some questions and no one knows who's going to answer it. So there's no prep time. No prep time. Yep. I know. It's tough. That's the best thing about being the host of the show is I'm not on the hot seat. So I'm feeling you. Right, Mr. Myers, he felt it yesterday when we had it for the kids. So, okay. First one comes from Miss Turner, who is one of our wonderful middle school teachers. And we're going to give it to Miss Tony. You are on the hot seat. I have had a parent ask what is the transition is like for kids enrolling in the IB program. They are worried about them leaving their peer groups. What can you advise on that? So Mr. Myers might have to help you out a little bit with this one.
Actually, you know what? I had a parent call and ask me this the other night, and they were really worried about choosing between IB or Staley and which one. And at the end of the day, my biggest piece of advice was if you get the opportunity, I said, go take a little tour. I know they used to do like shadow days. I'm not quite sure that they're doing that now, but go take a tour at Northtown. I said, the kids that go there, when they walked in, they felt like they were at home. And it wasn't as a big of a scary transition, leaving friends and all of that good stuff. The other thing I've also heard Dr. Reed say over the years is find a buddy to go with you. Convince someone to go with you. So
That's a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, transitioning to high school is a little scary altogether, and then also transitioning to a new place. But at the end of the day, think of all the cool things that you're going to get to do there. And at any of our buildings, really, just getting into high school is pretty cool.
Awesome. Mr. Myers, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I just want to add that, once you get to Northtown and you start going to your classes, you're changing classes, you're really experiencing the campus, you're not going to be completely isolated from your friends. Like if that's the fear, it's just tell yourself it's just a fear. You're still going to see your friends. You have all those elective classes where you might possibly be in class with your friends. You have time in between class. The chances are you'll have lunch with some of your friends. We're also, another thing to keep in mind is that counselors are recommending that every student take at least 2 pre-IB courses. So you'll take pre-IB courses before you take IB courses, and that'll be during your freshman and sophomore years. And so since everybody has to take at least 2 IB courses, that's another chance for you to have a class with some classes with a few of your friends.
Awesome. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you. All right. Miss Martin, you're on the hot seat. What if the kids realize pathways through, as they're doing it, and then they're like, oh no, I chose the wrong pathway. What do they do?
So we know that this is probably going to happen. As 8th graders, who knows what they really want to do? We know that, which is first off where your electives are really going to come in handy. You're going to be able to take electives outside of your pathway, but there will also be a protocol for being able to switch pathways at the end of your freshman year. I will tell you, we don't have that set in stone yet because we still don't know what pathways are going to completely be when they get there. We're still working through that process, but there will be a way, and it will be made known to the students as it's needed.
Awesome. Perfect. Okay. That was pretty good. I tried to get you on that hot seat question. You were great. You're probably over here watching, preparing. You probably knew it was going to be one of you two, huh? Okay,
It's not the first time we've had that question.
there you go. All right, Dr. Dameron, where would you go to college if you had to do it all over again? Oh no, hold on. Let's put her. Okay, Dr. Dameron, you guys start all over again. There you go.
That's a hard one for me. Fortunately, I've had 4 children, so I get to live my dreams through them. How's that? I went to UMKC, and I'm proud that I went there because my father died right when I started college, so I had to stay close to home. And I don't regret that a bit. It was wonderful. But if I had my dream, I would go to an Ivy League school. And I say that because I've had a few of my children go there, and the community and the opportunities and just the life experience they've gotten has been so impressive to me. I wish I had it. I long for it because it's just so fun. And I know every school has those opportunities. My other kids have gone to different schools, but I guess they just have the money. I don't know why, but they just really make a difference in their life. And that's what I long for. So that's where I'd go. But I think every college can be a perfect match for kids. We have kids go to Maple Woods and make the which is very far, and they're just sheen and blossom. So I think finding the match for you is really what it's about, not what school, but the match school that's best for you. So that was kind of a hard one.
Yeah, that's what the hot seat's all about. I love it. Okay, here we go. Miss Halpin, what is the best thing about your school?
This is tough. Oh my goodness, this is a hard question.
Let's remember that Ms. Halpin has a tie-dyed heart because she was a teacher at Oak Park and a wonderful one, so she better be careful.
I know. Oh my goodness. The best thing about our school, I think it's hard, especially being in COVID times. You know, we don't get to have those PEP assemblies, which I live for PEP assemblies. I just love that community aspect of schools. I think just we still have such a great community at Staley. And that's been really special. I think for me, I'm kind of a freshman this year. And so, I mean, I walk down the hallways and sometimes like when I have my hair in a ponytail, I still look like a student. But everybody is still like, you know, can I help you find something? Or it's just so kind and so helpful. Miss Tony's laughing because she knows it's true. But I mean, we order lunch, like teachers are ordering lunch together. Kids are still coming in and visiting and just sitting in open spaces. And teachers are coming to lunch and having conversations with kids. And so I know it was special for me at Oak Park too, but I still really value and see that community at Staley. You know, we were at the basketball game the other night. We had a ton of teachers there supporting kids. And I think that's been something that, you know, as a freshman, I was super worried about that I wouldn't find that community. And that's kind of what I hear some of you worried about as well. And it was so natural and such a good fit and so easy to find that after week 1, I think I was like, okay, like this is home. This is where I'm supposed to be. So I think for me, community for sure.
Awesome. All right, this is a great one. Mr. Myers, what is the best classroom or place to go in your school? A secret place? Do you have a secret place?
That is a really tough question. Well, we've just remodeled our whole campus. And so I think you'll have to, like, if you come to Northtown, you'll have to discover the secret places on your own. Definitely tell me about them if you can. I know that wouldn't be a secret exactly. But it's a really great campus. It's a state-of-the-art school. Definitely a 21st century school. And I know all of our high schools are moving that direction with like remodeling as well. But there are a lot of really awesome places. There's a theater room called the Black Box Theater, and it's where they do like one-act plays, you know, plays without very much scenery or anything, but it's a completely black room. That sounds miserable, but it's not. It's actually really cool. I'm sorry, my Dotson is
There he is.
anxious. So this is Ted.
Ted.
I had to pick him up. He was whining.
Oh, hi, Ted. Oh, he's just ready for some snuggles. Okay, and speaking of that, you guys, we're going to let Ted have Mr. Myers back here very shortly. But before we do, we have 2 more hot seat questions that I am going to ask. And Miss Martin, you're up next. What is the best thing that students have to look forward to in high school?
I'm going to kind of piggyback off of what Miss Halpin was talking about in the sense of community. I think that all 4 of our buildings do have such strong communities within their students. And I think that pathways next year are going to make that so much stronger. You guys are going to get to be able to really get to know your teachers better. They're going to get to know you. And we are so excited to see how that plays out. And then over the next 4 years, how you'll be able to develop those skills that you're going to need. And not only that, you're going to get to help your teachers learn even more about the things that you're interested in. And I know that our teachers are so excited about that.
Awesome. Very, very cool. Okay. Well, we have a couple more questions here that are popping up, and we're almost getting quite to the point where we're going to have to end our show. But if you guys don't mind staying on a couple minutes longer, and we're going to end, I will tell you all this. We're going to end with what advice would you give parents as they're preparing for high school? And that will just be a quick one. We're going to go all the way around, but really fast. Let's make sure we answer this one because this is a really important one for some of our students. Are there any classes that are self-paced? Dr. Dameron, do you know about any classes that are self-paced classes?
Well, the best thing I would think would be a good example of that would be an online class. Although they have assignments that they have due each week, the pace at which they do them is up to them. So, and many teachers of our online school, these are classes, we call them e-campus. It's a little foggy with that right now, of course, with COVID, but these are truly online classes that are taught through our launch program. And those classes, I have some students take them in summer school, for example, personal finance. And if the teacher allows it, I have students that work really fast because I teach summer school too, usually at Oak Park. So I kind of monitor the kids if they need a little help. They'll finish personal finance in about 3 weeks if they can. They like to really, really work. But on the other hand, maybe they want to get all their work done on Monday in the summer so they can go out and go to the park or something the rest of the week or whatever, something safe. And so I think that's a good example of self-paced classes. Most of the other classes in our school, the teachers do have pacing because they want the kids to get all the content they can. So, but I think that's a good example where you can kind of do your own thing.
Very cool. Okay, and Mr. Myers, we had Miss Owsley kind of answer this question that IB is only at Northtown.
That's correct. Yeah.
Question as well is, if they started out at Oak Park their freshman year, could they transfer into the IB program later on in their high school career?
Mrs. Dameron, what do you know about that? Again, this is not my domain, IB.
Sure.
I know enough about it to be dangerous, but I don't want to give the wrong answer.
And I'll have to say the same thing. Hi, Miss Hare. I see that's your question, and I see your child's thinking about Oak Park or IB. So, well, Mr. Meyer and I'll have a duel for your student. But as to whether they can transfer, is my understanding they want them to go to IB in their freshman year because they really do want them to take those IB classes. Mr. Meyer talked about the pre-IB classes. They are geared to fit right into the IB curriculum. So they really do want you to make that commitment and do all 4 years at the IB school. So the answer would be pretty much no, they cannot attend Oak Park for 2 years and then go to IB. They have to start out at IB.
No, we got that question today at Newmark, and Dr. Lauer, that was his answer, is that because the pre-IB curriculum is so prescriptive and prepares them for IB, we don't have that curriculum at the other 3 high schools. So they need to start out at Northtown.
All right. Well, great job. Great questions. Okay.
And just a side note on that, students will still enroll in a pathway, and their IB courses will still be geared towards their pathway. They would just be looking specifically at those Northtown pathways after they agree to the IB program.
Yeah. Okay, this is great stuff, you guys. So thank you so much. And if you've missed any of it or you don't understand any of it, all of their contact information was recently in a newsletter that Dr. Marson sent out. But the best thing is you can always go back and watch this video again and again and again until you understand and get the answers that you want. Okay, so my very last question for all of you is, what advice would you give your parents? So we'll be kind of a quick couple sentence or 2 or 3 or 4. We'll kind of go around the circle. Mr. Mars, we'll start with you.
Okay. Yeah, I would advise parents to do 2 things. One, to work with your student to make sure that they're putting enough time into their schoolwork, kind of structuring their time at home so that they can still be a kid, but definitely do the serious studying that they're going to need to do. The work that they're going to need to do to be successful in high school. 2, I would encourage parents to kind of prod their students to get into as many activities as possible. There are so many different clubs and teams and groups at all of the high schools, and high school's such a social experience as well as an academic one.
All right, Miss Tony.
Yeah, I'm a parent of a high schooler right now. I would say one of the first things I really started working with my son before he started entering high school is making him like do the emails. So if he had questions, I made him send the email as opposed to me. And that's really hard as a control freak parent because I am one. But it really helped him get some autonomy. And so that gave him those self-advocacy skills. And I kind of have been coaching behind the scenes. Like if I'm noticing something on Power School, hey, you need to go talk to your teacher about XYZ grade. And then he goes and does, and he's the one that goes and does it. So that self-advocacy piece is a big.
Awesome. Dr. Dameron.
So I agree with all of the above. What I would hope is, what I think you should think about as your child prepares for high school is just opening that communication, because high schoolers get a little different, and they don't always communicate with parents quite in the same way once they get there. And so starting now to have that open communication, letting them have more choice. We've got all these classes to pick. What are you interested in? And that seems hard. It's always hard to give away some of those reins of like watching Power School all the time, but letting them maybe fail a few times. I don't mean fail with an F. I mean just try things that they don't know how to do. Will give them the confidence to, it's okay, I'm going to do it again, or I'll make it up. But it was them doing it. I think that just really gives them confidence. And I want to second the activities. We have so many cool things. And once a kid's engaged, as you probably know, research shows they're going to love school. And that's my total goal as the gifted teacher. And I'm sure at all the high schools, I want your child to love us at Oak Park. I love Oak Park. I went there. And I just think of course, I think it's the best school in the district, but every school's the best school if you're there. And we want them to love it. So pretty soon we're almost done with our activity list. Everybody is. We've already met with your kids once, but we're going to have that soon. Help them look at the activities and be like, hey, do you want to try this? Just try it out. And that'd be my advice, is just head that way.
Awesome. All right, Miss Martin, how about you?
I'm going to kind of piggyback off of that, and not only communicating with your kids, but really listening to them, especially as they're looking at selecting into a pathway, really listening to what their interests are and what they want to do to make sure that they can get their passions really explored as they're through high school. I know that some of you might be asking, well, how do I know what those are? Last week, all of the students explored a website that was created to be able to explore those pathways. They still have access to that through a Canvas module. So feel free to hop back on there with the students. You can also get to it through the North Kansas City website. Just take time to really explore that with the students so that everybody knows their opportunities.
All right, you're last again, but you're definitely not least.
Yes.
Your turn.
Okay. I think for me, just kind of like Ms. Tony was saying earlier as well, but just encourage independence, practice patience, and celebrate the season of life that your child gets to be in right now. High school is messy and hard and challenging, but they will experience growth and change and joy all in that same breath. But just help them engage and let them trip and stumble just a little bit. But also, I think just to rely on the village and the building that your child is in, because that building and that village wants to see as much success for your child that you do. So that's what I would say.
That's perfect. All right, Ms. Torres, we appreciate the nice shout out, but I also wanted to give a shout out to all our amazing middle school teachers as well. And if you guys as parents or students have any questions for them, please feel free to contact your child's SAGE teacher, because we might not know the answer, but we have lots of friends that do, and we will direct you to where they belong. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Look at all these people. Very happy. Here you go. If anyone was like, oh, I hope we're not wasting our time, but we had a lot of live views today. So there was a lot of people out there watching, and we have a parent. Thank you everyone for taking the time to do this for our clueless parents of our brilliant kiddos. Perfectly, very well said. Awesome. So again, we'll just go really quick through all these thank yous. Miss Russ, thank you so much for being here this evening. Miss Schaefer is responsible for all of our awesome videos, by the way. She's our special effects teacher, so she makes all of our intro videos and our hot seat videos. So she does a really good job at that. And parents, as we're going through these thank yous, encourage your children to be included in every week's Engage with Sage at 11 o'clock. And you can always ask them what the code word, we call it CO, because Ms. Co comes up with the CO word. And we encourage them to email their teachers through Canvas the CO word for a special token. So ask them, what's the CO word of the week? And encourage them to get on and watch. If not live, definitely they can watch anytime because we are always here. So again, thank you so much for all of you for being here and taking time tonight. It was awesome and I learned a lot too. So again, thank you guys and have a good night. Be safe, have fun. And I love how you said it, Ms. Halpin. Enjoy life, right? Be patient.